maybe just to be seeding questions for later. What are some things that people should know about you, and kind of what are some key takeaways that we can be thinking about as you take us through your presentation?
Some things people should know about me is I am a totally blind person. I have been since age 5 when my retinas both detached, and I was a sighted kid one day and a blind kid the next day. And at that time, kids with disabilities were not educated in the local public school. There were specialized state schools. So my parents, who were young at the time, 25 years old, were told that I needed to go to a state-run school for blind children. And I did that for first, second, and third grade in the state of Oregon. And learned my Braille skills and how to travel confidently with a white cane, and how to feel good about myself, and learned how to type on a typewriter. Uh, Today it'd be keyboarding, but learned how to type on a typewriter so I could start into public school in 4th grade. I was always the only blind student in my schools after 3rd grade, and went on through college and graduate school, and into banking and finance, and into leading several large nonprofits. And I'm very interested in the workforce, in jobs of the future, in how companies, businesses, nonprofit and for-profit organizations can be as impactful and effective as possible by being inclusive of people with disabilities in their workforce.
Awesome. I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and get started then.
Sure.
And why don't you walk us through your presentation, and we'll
Yeah,
do maybe like up to 15 minutes of this, maybe
yeah,
12, 15 minutes.
yeah. Let's do it.
Awesome.
So again, thanks so much for having me. My name is Dr. Kirk Adams. I am the immediate past president and CEO of the American Foundation for the Blind, which was Helen Keller's organization, kind of the most historic blindness organization. Prior to that, I had that same role at the Lighthouse for the Blind here in Seattle. And as I mentioned a minute ago, I am blind myself, have been since age 5. And when I graduated from college, Whitman College in Walla Walla, Washington, with a 4 and a Phi Beta Kappa and a cum laude. And I decided I wanted to go to work and get married and buy a house and raise a family, like a lot of college graduates do. I ran into the obstacles faced by people with disabilities in obtaining employment. So only 35% of those with significant disabilities, blindness, deafness, mobility impairments are in the workforce. About 70% of the general population is in the workforce, so only about half. And I experienced that firsthand, in that I would send out my cover letter and my resume to potential employers, and I'd get a phone interview. It would go great. They'd call me in for my in-person interview, and I'd walk in with a long white cane and Braille, and the employer, I was a 22-year-old kid, so I didn't realize all these things then, but the employer had probably never worked with a blind person before. Didn't have any idea of the types of tools and technology and training that people with disabilities use to be successful in the workplace. And they would sit across the table from me and think, how could this blind kid do this job? How could this blind kid be a financial analyst? How would they do this work? And so I started disclosing in my cover letter. I'd send it out and say, I'm blind, have been since I was 5. Here's how I've accomplished what I've accomplished. Here's the technology I use. Here's how I'll do the job. And then I wasn't even getting the phone interview. So I've experienced firsthand those barriers to employment. I entered the world of work by becoming a licensed securities broker on commission sales. And I sold tax-free municipal bonds for 10 years on straight commission, 50 cold calls a day, every day. And I made enough money to get married to my college sweetheart. We just had our 39th wedding anniversary and buy a house that I'm sitting in here in Seattle and have our children. Now we have grandchildren. So I was able to make it work. When I turned 30, I pivoted into the nonprofit sector. I really got clear that being in security sales wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So like many people, got clarity and did a pivot. So I entered the nonprofit sector by being a professional fundraiser. And my first nonprofit job was with the Seattle Public Library Foundation as a development officer, raising money for the Talking Book and Braille Library. And then I got a call from the Lighthouse for the Blind here in Seattle saying they wanted to start a foundation and a fundraising program. And they'd heard there was a blind person who knew how to do that. Would I want to come in for an interview? And I did. And I saw a thriving business employing people who are blind, deafblind, blind with other disabilities, with a large CNC machine shop, computer numerically controlled machine shop, making parts for all the Boeing aircraft, blind and deafblind people machining titanium and aluminum, and in other parts of the organization making the on-the-move hydration systems for the Army and the entrenchment tool, and doing contract management for the Navy and the Defense Contract Management Agency, and all these amazing jobs and careers being performed by people with disabilities. So I became the CEO there. I grew the organization over the 8 years from about 30 million into 95 million in sales, into 13 locations, drove wages up 40%. Seattle had passed a $15.50 minimum wage law before I think anyone else in the country. So drove all the wages up above livable wage. So I've had experience in being a disabled job seeker, an employee in corporate America with a disability, and the employer of lots of people with disabilities. And now I have a consulting practice for the past 2 years, and I work with companies to help them, like I say, supercharge their bottom line through disability inclusion. And the conversations we have are with companies who are having challenges, perhaps attracting and retaining top talent. And it's a competition for talent out there. And as I mentioned earlier, only about 35% of us with significant disabilities are working, but there is a largely untapped pool of people who are super motivated to work. If given the opportunity, there's great data that shows that people with disabilities, or companies that hire significant numbers of people with disabilities, have lower turnover, lower absenteeism, better safety records, better employee satisfaction, better productivity. And the conversation we have is based on things like the Talent Code, the book that talks about how do we as human beings develop strengths. And we develop those strengths by overcoming challenges. And if you are going to become a premier athlete, your coaches are going to set you increasingly more and more difficult challenges. If you're going to become a world premier musician, you're going to take on increasingly difficult and challenging pieces of work, of music. If you're going to be a chess champion, you're going to get started, you're going to go to increasingly harder and harder tournaments. If you're a person with a disability living in our society, you're going to face challenges constantly that are going to give you the opportunity to create some really unique strengths. And those strengths are the ones that employers say they need in their employees. So that would be resilience, perseverance, creative problem solving, ability to analyze and manage risk, ability to work in teams, diverse teams, good communication skills. So what I like to do is connect the dots between the employer who's seeking talent and to develop a unique, innovative, high-performing workforce with people with disabilities who are eager for an employment opportunity. And there are structures that exist that help us do that. And my framework is to align government, corporate, nonprofit, and the community. And when you do that, then you can really make some big things happen. So on the government side, if you are an employer who wants to consider employing people with disabilities, there is a system called the Vocational Rehabilitation System. It's funded by the Department of Education. They have a division called the Rehabilitation Services Administration. They have a $4 billion annual budget, and those dollars go to each state. And each state has at least one, some states have two vocational rehabilitation agencies, and federally funded, and they have hundreds of staff and millions of dollars, and their mission is to facilitate employment of people with disabilities. So they've got tens of thousands of clients who are people with disabilities who are seeking work. Each of them has an individual plan for employment. Each of them has a vocational rehabilitation counselor, and an employer who wants to think about hiring people with disabilities can connect with the vocational rehabilitation agency in their state. They will have someone on staff who's responsible for creating relationships with employers. They will be so happy to hear from you. We did research when I was at the American Foundation for the Blind that less than 10% of the companies who say they want to hire people with disabilities are talking to the vocational rehabilitation system. So Voc Rehab, as we call it, they can provide you with qualified applicants, pre-screened. They can come to your place of business and do an analysis of your workplace. They can pay for any types of special hardware, software accommodations that your disabled employee needs, so it doesn't cost the employer anything. They can provide a job coach. They can pay for a salary for that person during an on-the-job training period. They can do a lot. The government also, Congress, in order to try to address the terrible employment situation for people with disabilities, has provided other incentives. There's a work opportunity tax credit, the WOTC. That employer can get a $2,400 tax credit after the first 12 months employing a person with disabilities. It also extends to veterans, and that can extend up to $9,000, so between $24,000 and $9,000 for employing a veteran. And many businesses do not take advantage of the work opportunity tax credit. There are also tax credits at the federal level for making any kind of modifications you may need to a building or a workspace. Many states have state level financial incentives. And I'm happy to talk to anyone about any of this. I have my consulting practice is called Innovative Impact. And my website is innovativeimpact.consulting. And you can contact me there or through LinkedIn. So the government and the vocational rehabilitation system and the state agency in your state, that's the first place to go if you're interested in thinking about enhancing your workforce by including people with disabilities. The second would be corporate America and other companies that have done this. There's an association of large companies called disabilityin.org, and it's about 500 publicly traded companies that have all made commitments to including people with disabilities in their workforce, in designing and marketing their products and services, and in their supply chain, doing business with disability-owned businesses. So if you go to the disabilityin.org site and just take a look at their corporate partners, you're going to see a list of very common household names of companies. And if you are in a particular city or state and you want to learn more, each of those companies is going to have a disability inclusion lead. And I'm a huge believer in informational interviews. That's how I got set on my path into the nonprofit sector was by asking people who are running nonprofits if I could come and talk to them about what they were doing and how they were doing it. So those companies in Disability In would be great resources for all of you. Thirdly, the nonprofit sector. In any city of any size, there are nonprofits who have philanthropic dollars, who raise money in order to support people with disabilities becoming employed. In Seattle, I think the Lighthouse for the Blind is down the street. There's a Northwest Center, which used to be called Northwest Center for the Retarded. There's a nonprofit called ProVail, which used to be United Cerebral Palsy of Seattle. There's a nonprofit across the lake in Bellevue, Washington called At Work, and they have expertise in supporting people with disabilities. They have job coaches, trainers, and when you talk to them, they say they can't find enough employers willing to consider employing people with disabilities. And then when I talk to employers who say yes, they want to be serious about employing more people with disabilities, they say they can't find enough qualified applicants. So what I do is connect the government agency, the employer, the nonprofits, and then the community. Every disability under the sun has some sort of association, network, membership organization. And if you personally have a disability, either disclosed or undisclosed, if you have a family member, a colleague, a former classmate, and you type in a search engine, disability and association or membership organization or grassroots, you're going to find an association in your community that you can connect with. So really, and I'll wrap here. It's just the fact that there are some silos existing. There are employers who need to hire and retain great people and make their organizations better. There are people with disabilities who make great, loyal, motivated employees. There's great data that shows that organizations who hire people with disabilities have better bottom line outcomes than those who don't. And then there's these structures like the federally funded vocational rehabilitation system that has expertise, staff, and funds to help make all of this happen. So I think with that, I'd stop and see if people want to talk.
This is great. We had a couple of questions that came in, and I shared a link to your website and then Disability In, and also your
Great.
link.
Great.
So let's see, one from Kyle. How do we actually go about accessing the tax or other benefits if we are looking to hire disabled individuals?
Yeah, so you can do it yourselves if you have a bookkeeper, an accountant, someone who handles that, a finance person. It's called the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. It's in the IRS code. You can do it yourselves. There are companies that will set up those systems and track it and do it for you. They charge for that. But if you just put in a search engine, Work Opportunity Tax Credit, WOTC, you can find obviously the IRS regulations, but then you'll also find people who will offer to help you with that.
Awesome. And then from Parker, I haven't had experience working with coworkers with disabilities. If we work alongside or hire someone with disabilities, what suggestions do you have to help them feel welcome and help them succeed?
Yeah, I think it's just asking. I mean, every person is different. Every person's at a different place on their journey. Everyone has different skill levels and experiences. So I think it's really just like you would do with any employee. Get to know them and ask. As an employer, you want, or a coworker, you want to provide your employee with whatever tools, technology, training, support they need to be successful. It may take a little bit of a different flavor if it's a person with a disability. So really just asking, saying, just being open and saying, hey, I've never worked with a person in a wheelchair before. Sit in a chair so you're at eye level with the person in the wheelchair, so you're not looming over them, and just say, I want to make this a great experience for everybody, and what do I need to know? What can I what can I put in place that would be helpful to you?
I like that. Let's see. And then I guess a question I had was the is and on the disability in the corporate partner page, it's these are large
Yeah,
companies. It, can you tell us about your experience with startups or new
yeah,
or small companies
yeah,
in this
absolutely.
space?
Yeah. So I'm an advisor to and a shareholder in 3 startups in the tech space, and one thing that's really important is to make sure you're building your digital assets to be accessible. So I'm blind. I use screen reading software that reads to me what's on the screen or shows me in Braille what's on the screen on a Braille display. Or I use my iPhone that has voiceover built into it. If you're an iPhone or an Android person, iPhone has voiceover screen reading software built in. Android has TalkBack. You can turn it on and play with it, get a sense of what a screen reading software does. But if you have a website or an app, you're going to want to make sure that it's accessible, that people who have disabilities can access your products and services through your website and your app. That's really step one, not only for potential employees, but for your customers as well. And it's becoming a legal requirement and a risk management situation to make sure everything's accessible. The Department of Justice just put out ruling on Title II of the ADA that any business receiving federal funds now has to be accessible and can be sued if they're not. The state of California has legislation about inaccessibility, giving people greater leeway to bring lawsuits. The European Union has the European Accessibility Act is going to be enforced starting next June. So it'll be coming here. So I'm happy to give you, if you want to reach out, give you resources of how you can make sure your digital assets are accessible. And then as you staff, as you plan to grow, I would say the lowest hanging fruit is to reach out to your vocational rehabilitation agency in your state that's funded by your taxpayer dollars, that has staff and expertise and dollars to help you explore employing people with disabilities. They'll bring you qualified applicants who meet your job descriptions. They'll come to your workplace and see if you need anything specialized hardware, software. They'll pay for it. If you want to set it up as an on-the-job training or an internship, they can pay the salary of the person during that time period. So that's where I would go first.
Cool. Alan,
Here in our state, there's Department of Vocational Rehabilitation, Washington State Department of Vocational Rehabilitation for people with disabilities. Other than blindness, then we have Department of Services for blind people. Like I say, some states have 2, some states have 1, but every state has this resource.
I was able to search and find, I just searched Voc Rehab Utah, and it was the first result that came up. It looks like it's the right place. Alan, do you want to come off mute and just go hit your question here?
Sure, greatly appreciate it. And there's great information, Dr. Adams, about everything that you've applied. I'm a neuroacoustic scientist and CEO of a startup company that has patented software that is actually just finished a clinical trial to show its positive effects then for people with ADHD, and we are applying then for grant funding to go further than into other neurodiverse areas like autism and PTSD. My question, because I just read something about a pushback from large corporations demanding that since the COVID shutdown has had people at home, the neurodiverse community in loud, noisy environments actually are showing a higher productivity while working in a closed environment.
Yeah.
But yet corporations are still demanding that they come back. What kind of pushback or information have you received on that?
That is true. Amazon is based here in Seattle, and they just told everyone they have to come back to work, to the office. And I know the disability inclusion folks there. So it's really around disclosing your disability and having the honest conversation about accommodations. So many people are working with disabilities. 70% of disabilities are not visible. A lot of people have disabilities and they haven't disclosed them to their employer for whatever personal reasons, fear of negative consequences primarily. But at Amazon, they have a employee research group of people with neurodiversity, and they're having those conversations that working in a quiet, more isolated space is an accommodation for their disability. So that's really the conversation. Because if I have a disability and I'm working for you, what's the best way for me to be productive, to be adding value? Maybe I need a larger computer monitor. Maybe I need speech software that'll read to me what's on the screen. Maybe I need software I can talk to that will create text. Maybe I have a chronic illness and I need 2 hours during the middle of the day. So I need an extended workday to accommodate that break. And in the case of some people with neurodiversity, they need a quieter, more isolated workspace. And those are accommodations, and those are legally available to people with disabilities under the Americans with Disabilities Act. So the way to talk about that and think about that is as an accommodation for a disability.
Okay, yeah, because I was just thinking, I mean, right off the top, my first solution would be then for a large corporation then to find and make office spaces that were in a closed environment area.
Yeah.
And
well, things ebb and flow, right? It was open office concept, and that was going to be great. No cubicles, everyone's out in the workplace together. That was what, 15, 18 years ago. And then it turned out that was a terrible idea. So they started building offices again. And then COVID, everyone went home, and now people are all coming back. And we'll probably settle somewhere in the middle with some sort of more flexibility, more hybrid. The people who love to come into the office can come into the office. The people who prefer not to will have more flexibility not to. So it's always a changing landscape. But from my perspective, the foundational conversation is we want great workforces, we want great companies, we want success, we need people, we need to create conditions where every person, regardless of disability, non-disability, can add the greatest value. And to get that, you need to have the best fit between that person and the work environment. And if you have a disability, those are called accommodations, and they're covered under the law.
all right, thank you very much.
Yeah, hope that helps. I'm happy to talk more.
Kirk, are there cities, states, or even countries that are doing exceptionally well, or you would call it as a case study?
As far as employment goes, I'm sorry to say no. The U.S. is, with 35% of us working, is maybe one of the better ones. We have the vocational rehabilitation system, like I said, funded by the Department of Education. That's very unique. Canada doesn't have it. The UK doesn't have it. Australia doesn't have it. As far as accommodations and transportation and accessibility, there are other countries that are far, far ahead of us, Japan, Australia, as an example. But as far as employment goes, we have the most resources devoted to it.
Let's see. If there's any final questions, go ahead and put it in the chat or come off.
And I will say two other things. So remote work, COVID came up. Remote work has become normalized. It's been great, particularly for people with disabilities, because transportation has always been a barrier to successful employment. When you had to go into a job and you couldn't get there, that was a barrier. So people who live where there isn't good public transportation or have other barriers to travel. Remote opportunities have really opened up a lot of doors for us.
Awesome. Any final question for Dr. Adams?
Well, please reach out through the website, through LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn every day, and would love to talk to any of you individually about how I might support you in thinking more about employing people with disabilities as you grow your businesses.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Adams.
Thanks, everyone.
So if everyone wants to stick around, as I said at the beginning, as Hannah put in the chat, we're going to do this little reverse order today. We're going to open up the breakout rooms now and stick around for 10 or 15 minutes, get to know someone new, and then we'll see you next week. Thanks, Hannah, for getting those.
Appreciate that.
Those will be open in just a second. So you should see a join breakout room link on your screen. If you want to hit the join, that would be awesome. Thanks, Hannah, for organizing. That was great. Learned a lot. Let's stop the recording, and then we'll have people go breakout rooms. And then if you're not going to go to breakout room, we'll see you here next week at 11. We'll be doing a demo day with a few startups, and